are at Acadia. We are at the top of Cadillac Mountain. It is breezy, it is cold, and obviously it is overcast. There's a couple of times I thought I was going to lose my hat, but it is pretty up here. I'm sure it's prettier on a bright blue sky day.
Probably what, 300 people up here?
Yeah.
And you got to get reservations to get in. It's pretty. It's what, 1,400 something?
1430 or something.
So
we drove up here, just FYI.
Yeah, this is a little shorter than Mount Mitchell as we started this trip out on.
Yeah, Mount Mitchell's 6,600 and some change, and this is 1,400.
It's a beautiful sight. A lot of area around here. A lot of water.
Yeah.
I'll show you around. This is on top of Cadillac Mountain, and we noticed on the entry gate as we drove by one day that they said no RVs allowed. We stopped and asked, was my Class B allowed? They had me pull up to a white line. They checked the back of it to another white line, and we happened to be over because of the bikes. So she had us remove our bikes so we could, the next day when we wanted to go up, so we could go up in and have a parking spot. But we were able to get in. 21 foot or 22 foot, I think, was a limit, and our camper is 21 feet without the bikes. We had a couple that camped next to us that was not allowed to take their truck up on top of Cadillac Mountain.
Hey everybody, we are in Bar Harbor, Maine, or Bar Harbor if you're from Tennessee.
Bar Harbor.
Bar Harbor. We are walking around Bar Harbor in a little town. We came down here to the water, see what's what. We're actually on the shore path, which is something I wanted to do. And we're going to go on a sunset cruise tonight. If there is a sunset, because it's so cloudy.
It's been a cloudy day all day. This is in Bar Harbor, and there was a lot of wind in this video, so I removed it. On up in the middle of town, it reminds you a lot of like Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Quaint little shops, great places to eat, great place.
Hey, so if you can hear us, we're on a sunset cruise in Bar Harbor. We saw a bunch of seals, we saw an eagle, we saw a bunch of seagulls. It's still very windy here. Chilly, that's okay.
A lot of buoys in the water.
Yeah, a lot of buoys that are mussel farms, I guess.
And lobster.
And some lobster, yeah. Pretty cool.
It's cold, it's windy, and he slowed down for now, but earlier I had to get the hood up. I haven't took it off since. Keep my ears warm.
Yep. It's very pretty out here, even though it's overcast and cloudy.
Overcast, not much of a sunset. I'll show you that now, and then I'll stop the video.
We are at Schoodic Point in Arcadia, Maine National Park. So we are at our last campground in Maine. It is called HTR Acadia, and it has this lake attached to it, I guess, sort of. And it is, well, I guess it's a lake. I'm sure it's a sound or a bay or something, but it is absolutely gorgeous out here. And I just saw a little head of what I think is a seal.
We're pretty sure it was a seal.
Yeah.
So it has to be the ocean, or at least a sound or something with water. Yeah, it comes into it. You can see around us, we've got all kind of boats.
We may actually rent a kayak tomorrow and paddle around just to say we did. Hey, so we are still in Maine. We are on the Carriage Roads. It's a bike trail. We hope we're on the Tri-Lake Loop, which goes around Bubble Pond, Jordan Lake, and Eagle Lake. It's supposed to be about a 10-11 mile bike ride, and over here you can starting to see some of the fall foliage that's turning. As Raymond said, we're probably a week early or maybe 2 weeks early to see complete change, but it's still pretty out here.
It is. We're on the carriage trail, did you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, with our e-bikes. The ride we did on the carriage trails was kind of a loop, but there were several carriage trails around there, and you could have easily went different directions, got lost, I guess. But we had a great trip on these trails. We did slow down for a lunch at Jordan Pond House, and I had my first popover muffin or roll and had a great meal there. If I ever go back, I'm going back to Otter Cliff. Beautiful area. This is one of the trails going up to Otter Cliff. Real beautiful area, and we hiked all the way out to the end and had to go up some steps, and we came to a point that was actually right beside the road we drove in on. And you get to see the highest point of Otter Cliffs. Beautiful area. We'd go back there again, absolutely. I did take my big camera and I got some good pictures that won't be in this video. We are still in Acadia, and we are our last day, I think.
Yeah.
And we are hiking along the trail to the Otter Cliff. And a lot of water. See there? And we're gonna go to, Jen says we're not climbing any higher.
Not far.
Not far.
We are on top of Otter Cliff. It's the highest point, I don't know, somewhere north of Rio de Janeiro. Really pretty up here.
We could just sit and watch the waves crash all day long. This campground was right beside a creek, and we slept the night with the windows open. You could hear the creek all night long.
Hey, so we are in Vermont now. We were in New Hampshire last night. We'll be in Vermont tonight and then be in the Adirondacks for the next 3 days. But we are here at Mud Pond. This was a hike we found kind of near where we're going to stay tonight. We did 4.3 miles in about 2 hours. It was a good hike. It wasn't a lot of elevation, wasn't any views, wasn't any waterfalls. It was just a walk through the woods kind of thing. But it was good. We enjoyed it.
Had fun. Dog friendly, a lot of dogs on the trail.
Yeah.
And, would you do it again?
Yeah.
All right. We were driving along, and I was noticing off the side that looked like a mountain range. I told Jen, I said, I bet that's the Adirondacks. She looked it up, and it was. We were there.
Hey, so we are in Bridport, Vermont. We're staying at a Harvest Host tonight. It is an alpaca farm, and what you're looking at now is the Adirondack Mountains. and the sunset, and it is absolutely gorgeous. We will be over in the Adirondacks for 3 nights starting tomorrow night, and I'm pretty excited about it. I didn't realize they were so gorgeous.
And so long.
Yeah.
They go from hundreds of miles. The alpacas were some cute animals. They do their own shearing and all that. They create products they sell at their little harvest host. And that's how you actually pay a harvest host. You buy something that they sell in their little store and you get free spot to camp. We were at this location, happened to be a Class A, also parked in a different area. We almost went over to talk to them, but thought, well, we didn't want to interrupt them. During the time we were there, Travis, one of the alpacas, on our way out, we noticed that he was standing at the edge of the long driveway, and we had to call back and tell him that he was out, and they had to come get him and take him back up to the house. But he had escaped the fenced-in area that they had him in.
Good morning. We are in Adirondack Park, is what Siri said. We are at
Crown Point,
Crown Point, New York, where,
the Adirondacks.
yeah, this is a lighthouse behind us. It's all made out of stone. It's a reproduction, though, I think you said, right?
No.
No, I don't think it is. But it was built in 1929. But we are standing on a pier that is on Lake Champlain, and it is cloudy and overcast. It's still pretty.
We have the Adirondacks actually behind the camera, and I'll turn it around if I can. I don't know if that works good or not. We'll find out at the end of this trip. This fort was built with the British and the colonials to defend against France during their war. The gorge is a great waterfalls view. It's kind of over commercialized. You have to pay to get in, and all you see is the falls and the lake.
Hey, so we are in Tupper Lake, New York, with Tupper Lake behind us, actually. We just stopped at a farmer's market. I think she might have been Amish. I don't know.
I think so, yes.
But she told us a lot about the area. She said that Tupper Lake at one point was thought to,
It was supposed to be larger than New York City because of all the industry from logging that actually happened around here.
Yeah.
Evidently, all the logs come down river, and they would accumulate here, and then they put them on the trucks and then move them out. But they actually had signs saying this is going to be bigger than New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd also told us that people that had TB would be sent up here to large homes, and the prescription to get over TB was actually fresh mountain air. And
she said a lot of the houses here was built south facing, and then the people with TB would be sitting out on the front porches wrapped up in blankets, breathing in the
fresh mountain air.
Fresh mountain air.
Yeah.
And that was the cure for TB back then.
Yep. She said some people it helped, some people it didn't. And, it's kind of like what we now know as COVID. It's, some people got infected, some people didn't, some people got over it, some people didn't.
We're at the lake, and you can hear behind us there's a lot of geese out here. I don't know if you can see them. No, not really from there.
You can hear them, though.
I got pictures of them. I'll post the pictures. I was hoping you could see them in the video.
Yes, we start all our videos out laughing. So we are in Lake Placid, New York, where they did the 1932 and the 1980 Olympics. This is apparently the Olympic Village where we're standing. The track's behind us. In front of us is a building where I'm sure they did all kinds of things. And
Probably the indoor Olympic sports. We're
Yeah.
inside. I'm gonna swing the camera around, let you see that, and we'll head out to the next location.
that's actually the speed skating ring.
Yeah.
I thought it was a track. Speed
Oh, no.
skating.
Speed skating.
Following signs to a self-checkout market. A lot of video cameras.
These are just some of the apple orchards that are around here. And these things go for, I bet, 1,000 acres or better. We drove around yesterday trying to find Kate's roadside garden,
Kay's farm stand.
Kate's farm stand, and we got into the main orchards. I mean, there was 50 workers out working, and there was just apples everywhere.
And when you roll down the window, you can actually smell the apples.
This is one video in a playlist of 4. The easiest way to get to the next video is to select the tab that appeared here. If you've been to some of these places that we've traveled and want to share your stories with us, just add your comments below. You know the drill. If you like what you've seen in this video and want to see more, hit the like and the subscribe buttons.